My name is Maya Lemkes, and I'm here to tell you about how to prepare ourselves for an unexpected humanitarian situation, either lay people or professionals. Human rights education in our unpredictable world has become one of the top priorities in order for providing the quality of life every human being deserves, but also for crime and human trafficking prevention. I'm about to explain to you how to be ready for your loved ones or somebody in your community, circle of friends, all of a sudden faces unfair and unjust circumstances and treatment. By my 30 years of experience on the field, both as a special education teacher and in international humanitarian volunteering, I have learned that there are situations that can be solved by just being vigilantly observant and aware of what is going on around us in the world. Wherever we observe injustice, we can dissect the situation and in the problem find a solution. It's a process, but that's how we get to the root of turning these desperate situations into hope. It's called justification. In this speech, I'm going to introduce the concept of protective leadership, the humanitarian situation, and why you are the most qualified person to step up and act. The intervention organizer. In human trafficking prevention, but any humanitarian crisis response, there are 5 essentials that I have learned to develop as a system to apply to my life and my team. The 5 factors are timing, means, connection, process and knowledge, and teamwork. Let's see how these 5 intersect with each other. Right after, as we know that protective leadership is when someone steps up to mentor or advocate for other persons' human rights in order to guide and safeguard those rights. Because one of prevention's main branch is education of the 30 points. But what is the use of knowing what the 30 articles of universal human rights are if your basic needs go unmet, and therefore creating traumatic experiences and criminal situations and unfair humanitarian exposure to other things that threaten your life. Therefore, a humanitarian situation is defined as something that's lacking one of the 30 articles of human rights. And in the very end, we're going to discuss why you are the most qualified person to step up and be that protective leader and crisis intervention organizer. Timing. In my 30 years, I hardly ever came up with a situation when I arrived on time to prevent trauma. Most of the time, I show up to prevent further trauma, further injustice. But timing is extremely important element because it defines the arsenal of intervention methods, techniques, what is going to be available and adaptable and applicable in a certain crisis rescue situation. Means to rescue someone from an unfair and unjust situation that threatens their lives and their basic well-being is going to always require spiritual, human, material, and financial resources. We could add the people resources, but later on we will be talking about teamwork as well. But we do need to have connections, not just constantly all year round trained professionals, but sometimes we need a search party with volunteers, and that is also belongs to the teamwork area. Financial resources we should be always prepared for. Are you able to house and meet the basic needs of one human being for 3 months without any compensation from them? Are you able to set aside $10,000 for that 3 months in order to meet their needs upon unexpected call? It's called emergency fund. In your family, in 5 members family, you have to have $50,000 set aside for humanitarian crisis. It's not even the same as your emergency funds for some other reason. Don't confuse it when the house flood, because then you won't have the humanitarian resorts available. Connection. Initial connection with your patron whom you are about to rescue or whose situation leaves you puzzled about whether if it is humanly right or emergency. You need to have a very good connection with. You need to have connection that maybe sometimes even surpasses language barriers. Connection that surpasses race and cultural misunderstandings. But the connection is also spread out how this person is able to trust you and how you are able to hold them accountable to continue progressing in the direction where you want to take them. Collaboration, is it possible? Is trust expands to collaboration with your patron? And teamwork, we have already mentioned. There should be always professionals on your team because you don't want to make legal mistakes, psychiatric mistakes, medical mistakes, or even financial mistakes when it comes to it. You want to have trained professionals on your team. But it also requires relevant information from the situation and your patron's history to correctly address any rescue intervention. And with these 5 factors in your mind, you are already qualified. Because if you can be prepared in these 5 factors, if you feel the calling to act right now, that you want to be available for people in extreme humanitarian situations or your family members, then that call is from the future. That future cries telling you, get ready today. And these 5 factors prepared will qualify you to be the compassionate, protective leader a rescue mission needs. So I hope this TED Talk was informational enough and you have even more questions. You're going to research it and my insights on the topic will encourage you to explore what you can do and work in the network of your community. Good luck. Aloha.